The highest reality that you can access in a human body is joy. Now, joy is a spiritual reality. So when you're experiencing joy, when your mind is illuminated and your body's electrified by that feeling of joy in your heart, then you are in a spiritual reality. And we are built for joy. Our bodies, the circuitry of our bodies is designed for joy, to have the currents, electrical current of joy flowing through it. And it is possible to live in joy. Now, unfortunately, we live in a very dysfunctional world, which has conditioned us to live in fear. Now, just because we've grown up in that society, just because the world is like that, does not mean that you cannot choose the higher reality, the reality you were designed for, the reality you're destined to experience. You have the freedom to choose that. Now, it's easier said than done, isn't it? It's easy to say, well, just choose joy, don't worry, don't be afraid, choose joy. You hear people say this and you think, well, yeah, it's easy to say. So that's why it's very important to use things which help you. The main thing, the main tool that we have in this world, which is extremely effective and extremely powerful, is music. Music gives us joy easily. I can prove this to you. You know, after you've watched this video, go and put on your 5 most joyous, happy songs and just tell yourself you're not going to think, you're not going to worry about anything. You're going to put all your worries and cares to the side and just listen to these 5 beautiful pieces of music loud on your stereo, top volume, and see how you feel after you've listened to those songs. Because that's the power music has to give us access to emotional realities. Joy is an emotional reality, and so is fear. And we have to choose, we have to really choose with our actions. We have to choose in a very real way the reality of joy, because if we don't, then we are going to be pulled into the reality of fear. And I think you can probably see that's already happening all over the world. But the good news is you have a choice. Remember that you have a choice. Now, there's a big, strong gravitational pull that has been created by your mind and by this society that's conditioned your mind. There is a big, strong gravitational pull towards the reality of fear, because our mind, our brain has been conditioned to think, and to think based on fear. Most of our thoughts are based on fear. That's often why we think, because we're afraid of feeling. We're afraid of not knowing, so we go into our mind to think because we feel safer in our mind. But that ultimately is driven by our fear of the unknown, our fear of being in the moment, our fear of feeling, and feeling everything deeply and powerfully, because we've been designed to feel. Sorry, I just went through a noisy village there. I had to pause the video for a minute. So, you have been designed for joy, yet you've been programmed for fear. Now, even though the programming may seem strong, the good news is you have been designed for joy. And you just have to remind your body regularly that it has been designed for joy. And that's why music is so important, because music is the most effective and powerful way to remind your body that it's been designed for joy. And when we're feeling joy, everything in our body just says yes. Every cell of our body is saying, yes, this is reality. This is what I want. This is how I want to feel. Everything in our body. We just have to remind our body that it can feel that way. And actually it can feel that way really, really easily. We don't have to sit down and think and work out all our troubles before we can feel joyful. We have to put them aside. We have to put all our thoughts to the side and have a different experience. We have to feel instead of think. And so we just put on some music, we move our bodies, we go for a run, we do something which gets our blood flowing, gets energy flowing through our body, gets our oxygen flowing through our body, and then we start to feel more alive, we start to feel more energy, and then we start to feel more joy, because we're not designed to be sitting down in front of screens all day long. We've been designed to be active, and activity brings us joy, especially outdoor activity. It brings us joy. Nature, there's an energy that comes from nature which speaks to our heart and lifts up our heart, and it's a joyful energy coming from the natural world all around us. If we just spend more time in it, then we'll realize this. We'll realize that there's joy everywhere, and it's calling us. That joy is calling us to participate. And so ultimately all we need to do is answer that calling, is to say yes. When we feel that calling from nature, from whatever we're doing, if we're in a joyful situation, there's a calling Our body wants to join in, it wants to participate, it wants to feel the joy, so it can be a part of that kind of sea of positive energy. Now, often our mind says, no, don't be joyful, I want to stay in control. And our thoughts, they stop us letting go. They keep us in our mind, and they keep us saying, oh, no, I don't do that. Emotions are inferior to thought. I don't do joy. I'll just stay in control, and I'll be serious, and I'll take myself seriously. When there's this whole world of joy waiting for us, this whole world of freedom and joy and a sense of celebration, that is always available to all of us, a sense of celebration. But we have to forget the vision of the world that the media has given us and been giving us for most of our lives. This doom and gloom and this fear, these scenarios about the future, which are pretty much terrifying. And I know that. But there's nothing you can do about them. You have to drop those visions. You have to drop all those negative expectations. You have to drop the worry and the fear. Or more easily, just focus on something else. You don't have to get it out of your system. You just have to focus on something else. You can focus on your mind and all the thoughts there, or you can focus on your body. You can focus on the joy that is everywhere. It's accessible, especially in nature, but it's accessible all the time, and you just have to choose to focus on that. Now, if you find that difficult, that's why music is being given to us like a gift from God to remind us of that joyful reality.